Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Donald Trump addressed the UN and he singled out Kim Jong-un, which is, to be expected. It was his first UN address. Remember when Barack Obama first went to the UN? He looked like a little boy. He sat back there with those big old ears and he addressed the UN Assembly, and it was like a kid in a candy store. He looked like Dukakis getting into that tank. You remember, the picture was so out of whack. Trump vowed to seek international peace, but he reiterated his America First policy. And you gotta love that. The guy gets before the world and he says, the country that I will spend the most time thinking about is America. Do I understand where we fit in the world? Absolutely. We have an amazing place in the world. We have carved out a quarter of the world's GDP. We're productive. More productive than any other country on the planet. So yes, I know where we fit. We've provided peacekeeping. We fund the UN. We fund the International Monetary Fund. And you guys want us to fund this climate change nonsense. You know what? If it doesn't put America first, it can't be good for the world. That's the case he's making. He's also saying to the world, you should put your countries first. You should be looking out the best interest. You should only be dealing with countries who want to deal with you, where there's a symbiosis. Why should we deal with Syria? Why should we deal with these rogue nations that want to do us harm? The UN is supposed to be a peacekeeping organization. It's supposed to foster countries working together for the collective good. If you can show me where that's happening, I would love it. I'd love to see it. Anyway, North Korea knew that Donald Trump was going to single them out. And even before the speech began, their UN representative, the ambassador, left his seat. The junior understudy, or whatever he is, he stayed, maybe to see what real leadership looked like. The Kim dynasty has been a thorn in the side of America since the 1960s, and Trump is the first president who has them running scared. Nobody talks to countries like Trump. Nobody has addressed the UN like Trump. I think Limbaugh has even said something along this. I didn't hear it, but I saw a thing about it. Reuters reported this. Pyongyang's two intercontinental ballistic missile tests in July. Its testing of a Hwasong-12 missile over Japan in August, and September, third test of what Pyongyang claimed was a hydrogen bomb, only accelerated the sense of urgency in Washington, Seoul, and Tokyo about the need for a strong collective response. Keep poking the tiger. Many options on the table. And unlike Barack Obama, North Korea cannot rule out a missile strike. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Donald Trump is the last guy on the planet who wants to strike North Korea with missiles. He'd much rather see North Korea suffer and make it so that people blame Kim Jong-un and not him. And the way he would do that is through economic sanctions. And he's putting that pressure on. He's applying that pressure. But we have a complicated world, because both Russia and China actually do like that Kim Jong-un exists. There are people out there who love little idiots like him, like little Rocket Man. They like him. They're useful idiots. They remind people of the power of the big boys. So he's gotten away with it. Now, how long will it last? I don't know. Trump's going to have to get more things moving with. I'll tell you what will happen, how I predict it can happen. He's already got China thinking about it, because our trade deficit will slowly begin to wane. You see where I got that word. To dwindle. And with Russia, once he can open up the oil resources to the places that Russia currently serves oil, they lose a lot of their power in the region and their economic base, and then they have to come on board. So I don't know how that orchestration is occurring. But I'll tell you this, I'm glad Tillerson's in office as Secretary of State working on this, a guy with ExxonMobil who understands the big picture, the global picture as it relates to oil and how it can be used as a weapon, so to speak. Anyway, the UN Security Council voted to step up sanctions against Pyongyang. However, economic restrictions have a limited impact and have so far because it isn't influencing the people that it needs to influence. The people in North Korea are already struggling. It's like the days of the Depression. Once people get so low to where, they start eating chitlins, pig gut, what else can you do? You're pretty much done. When you get to that level of subsistence, what are you going to tell me I'm going to take away from you? There is lower to go, but as long as there's lakes and rivers and streams and places to hunt, people will eat squirrel, they'll eat armadillo, they'll eat skunk. If you let them, if they get desperate enough, you will. So these guys have avoided sanctions in many ways. They've kept their weapons programs funded. They've utilized rogue nations, Syria, Iran, etc., to do this, but it's just a matter of time. It's like Hillary Clinton and, Kim Jong-un is a North Korean version of Hillary Clinton. He thinks he can win. He thinks he's got everything on his side. He thinks the deck is stacked against Trump because he's been doing this for so long and getting away with it. But he's going to wake up and find out that there's a different leadership here, a different vibe in America. They've been exporting and cooperating with countries like Iran and Syria on nuclear designs, missile technology, probably chemical weapons. And the Security Council of the UN has effectively done nothing. He's done more than Saddam Hussein and gotten away with it. Now, as I said, the best way to go about it is trade. Trump's already taken a stance against trade. He's going to impose huge tariffs on North Korea. Anybody dealing with them is going to have a difficult time dealing with the United States. That's a prediction, but that's only going to get us so far. But when we come back, I want to talk about what Trump said at the UN, because in effect, he's telling them we're reaching the... Tillerson said it a while back, but we're talking months in the presidency, and the last thing you want to do is start a war that's going to increase the deficit, increase the debt, and if it doesn't have a strategy that can get you out quickly, then that would be the worst possible thing he could do for his presidency. But I think that he's getting close to saying, we're going to start doing some things to provoke him. And let's see what he does. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But I am interested, and I will let you in on what he did at the UN when we get back.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.